Welcome back to the Full Court Press podcast. I am one of your hosts, Bryan Joyner, joined by Ben. How's it going, Ben?
What's up? Sorry we've been gone for so long. Life
Yeah,
got
it's been
crazy.
been a couple weeks. I got a little one that got hand, foot, mouth sickness, and boy, they do not teach you enough about that.
Yeah.
It's rough. But and then last week we attempted to do it, but technical difficulties put a pause on that.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a rival podcast out there somewhere they've got our
sabotaging.
Wi-Fi or something. They're just cutting us out.
Yeah, but we're back now and we're ready to go. We had our fantasy draft amongst us and some friends 2 weeks ago, I guess now,
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Man, it feels like forever ago.
Feels like a long time, but we plan for this podcast to kind of go over our picks and kind of the first couple of rounds in general. We'll go over all the picks and if anything stood out, but then focus on ours as we get later in the draft because we don't have 9 hours to go through every single pick. But all right, I'll go ahead and let's get this thing up and going.
Oh yeah,
All
nice.
right,
Look at that technology.
yeah. Um, so starting off this draft, we see Ben had the third pick. We
Man.
knew this about what a week before.
Yeah, we did a
Know what we were gonna do?
randomizer at least a couple days before, and I must say I got pretty lucky there. That's a good spot to be in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I was a little less than thrilled drafting seven. I kind of would either have liked to have the wraparound
Yeah.
or to kind of have a definite top end talent. But we kind of made it work because the group we draft with, some are knowledgeable and some are not
Yeah.
as experienced in fantasy. They've been playing for about 2 or 3 years now, so they're getting better. But so you never know how. I just go into this, you never knew how this was going to turn out. But starting with pick number one, it goes as normal. Goes Nikola Jokic, and then we move down the list. We have Luka taken next, which we knew was going to happen
Yeah.
when we saw who had the pick. This guy Eric is a major Mavericks fan and will take all Mavericks if it's possible. He ends up making a trade a couple days after for Klay Thompson, giving them Colin Sexton. So
Not
up,
the greatest trade ever, but
I mean, moving the needle to say the least.
yeah, I
Um,
mean he definitely I don't know if he organized the funeral for Luca, but he was definitely in attendance. So either way, we knew he wasn't really slipping past two there.
right, we all knew. So then you get to the third pick and you're looking at Wimby. What are you thinking? What's kind of going through your mind here?
Yeah, no, I mean I think going into it, especially when I found out I was third, I was hopeful that Wemby would drop. I didn't know, chances are he could go one, he could go two. Just looking at kind of our debate that we had a couple episodes ago, but
Hmm.
I was hoping that he'd be there at three. I would have been okay if he wasn't probably going either Shea or Giannis as the board fell, but I think my number one choice was Wemby. I don't know if I would have taken him over Jokic if I had the number one pick necessarily, but it was definitely crossing my mind. So I think
Yeah.
just the upside there was too hard to pass on, especially in a league that the scoring, I wouldn't say it favors centers because three pointers get you an extra point, but certainly helps to have those double doubles. And since Wemby does shoot the three as well, that'll help as well. So just wanted to take the chance on a potential number one upside at the three spot with Jokic being gone, especially, and pretty happy with that. So not a super hard pick necessarily, but one I'm excited about.
No, absolutely. And we get on. We go. Shea, Giannis, and that top five was scripted. I mean, those
Yeah,
top five were going to go in some order that way. That's kind of what we predicted during our reviews, and it did. Then we get into six with Cade Cunningham, which I was devastated.
I
I
know.
really thought Cade was going to go, and then uh, uh, this is our former boss Doug, who who had Cade last year, so
Yeah,
he's super high. So I definitely understand him taking him there. And then Anthony Edwards, I feel like sitting there, he kind of just fell into my lap. I don't know. I mean, of the guys left on the board with Trey and Carl and James Harden and Devin Booker, I just couldn't pass up somebody with his ceiling. I mean, he has the potential. He is if he takes another step, he could be an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
So I just felt like I couldn't pass up 25 points a night, and if he keeps shooting the way he did last year, if he keeps you know building on the game that he has already, then I felt pretty good about it. Then going from there, we have LeBron, Trey Young, and Karl Anthony Towns, which I was shocked LeBron was taking. I mean, you know Hunter better than me, but he has a soft spot for LeBron, you say?
Yeah, so the first year he played, I think is his third year third year this
Yeah.
year. So 2 years ago he knew nothing about basketball. And now he knows something about basketball. So that's improvement. But
I,
I mean,
yeah.
something enough to where he won our league last year or 2 years ago. So
Yeah.
he definitely knows what he's doing fantasy wise now, but I think since that moment he took LeBron in the first round when he started playing fantasy for the first time, it was kind of all over at that point that every year he takes LeBron in the first round. And, shockingly, LeBron has produced almost first round value the last 2 years. Uh,
He does produce, and I don't. I wouldn't have taken LeBron first round. I mean, there's no doubt, especially coming up. And we by this time we did the draft. We knew of his sciatica pain,
yeah.
which is what an old man injury. Like, are you kidding me? And he's going to be out till November. Or like mid-November, I think
Yeah,
they
most
said.
likely,
So
yeah.
maybe Thanksgiving. He missed the first 20 games they're talking about. So I mean, I don't know if taking him first round would have been anything that I would even consider given that information. And then Trey Young and Karl Anthony Towns, both first round talents. I mean, I definitely understand. Wrapping around, I was really upset that Hunter ends up getting a first round talent. I was really
I
thinking
know.
that Anthony Davis was going to fall. So kind of bummer that you waste a first round pick, but then end up getting first round talent later. So,
Sometimes,
but
it seems to work out that way for Hunter to where he makes some decisions that I question and then they end up working out in some way and I didn't see it coming. So I've learned to kind of not question his evaluation or his talent profile and just let him do what he does.
yeah, he's got a strategy. He won, so can't fault him. And then comes around to me, and I'm sitting there, and I'm hoping, obviously I'm hoping Anthony Davis falls. He doesn't, and then I know for a fact I took a guard first round, so I know I'm going big.
Hmm.
And Sabonis, I don't like his game. I mean, I know he's a double machine, and in our league we get extra points for, I think, 10 extra points for triple doubles.
Yeah.
So I reach a little bit. He's a second round talent, maybe bottom of the second round.
Yep.
But I reach a little bit, get Alperen Sengun, which I'm feeling really good about after last night.
Oh man, monster game.
Yeah, a monster game. I mean, two overtimes, so it
Well,
pads the
yeah.
stats a little bit, but I'm pumped. I mean,
Yeah.
he looked great, and his 3-point shooting looked good last night, and I felt really good about reaching for him because I know he has triple double potential,
Yeah.
and he's double machine. So I just felt good about reaching for him a little bit over guys like Sabonis, Zubac,
Yeah.
Maxey. Maxey was one I was really considering as well, and then I knew about Jalen Williams' injury. So
Hmm.
of those guys, I felt pretty good about
Yeah.
Sengun there.
No, and I think you're right in your grading. Şengün's probably a back of the second round type guy, but considering you taking Edwards in the first and wanting a big guy, I think I would have done the same thing. Sabonis I don't know, they may be close at the end of the year, but especially being in Houston, I'd probably rather root for Şengün anyways. So I don't I don't think he made any bad choice there, and especially watching last night, it seems like they may end up running a lot of their offense through him more so than Amen Thompson, which might
They
work
just
out
don't have a
favorably.
choice. They don't have a choice. And last night we didn't know obviously when we draft here, but you look at last night and they kind of in the clutch almost didn't go to KD at all. Did you hear he shot 3 shots between all fourth quarter and overtimes.
Yeah,
3.
yeah,
So
that's not what she signed him for sure. But maybe they'll straighten that out as the year goes on. But it's at least encouraging as a Şengün owner in the second round. That's kind of what you want to see in best case there. So hopefully he
absolutely.
keeps that up. Briefly returning to your Anthony Edwards pick, is there anyone else
Yeah.
that you considered there I mean, I'm guessing
Um,
obviously not LeBron, but would you have gone
no,
Trey Young or
no.
Towns?
I probably wouldn't have gone Trey Young. I think that they have a movement going on there, with Porzingis and Jalen Johnson Jalen Johnson and these guys. Where I think Trey Young's still a 25 and 10 guy, but
Yeah.
I think he drops his productivity a little bit. I did think about Towns
Okay.
because if I was going to go big, and then I just didn't know. I wasn't sure that Devin Booker and James Harden and these top guards were
Hmm.
going to be there. I knew Maxey might be there, which is why that's what I would have done in turn. Would have
I
done
see.
Towns Maxey.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anthony Edwards was just he was top six guy. I really thought that he was going to go six. I thought Doug would see that and be like, top name, big
Hmm.
name, and go with that. But
Yeah.
he didn't. So
Yeah.
that's what
No.
I was thinking.
Overall, good pick. I'm still with you on the Edwards ceiling. I took him last year at the same spot pretty much for the same reason, and he's only a year more improved most likely this year. So I think there's definitely a higher ceiling than some of those guys, and it doesn't seem like he's really injury prone at all. So I mean, he's going to play
He seems to play
75
through
games at
injury.
least.
He'll play through injury, which
Yeah.
I can appreciate. I guess I don't. I'm not a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, so I don't care about their win or loss. But
Yeah.
if he can give me any productivity at all as a fantasy owner, I'm in on that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, pretty straightforward. I'd say round and a half to start outside of the
Yeah,
LeBron pick, but he could have
yeah.
easily just flopped Anthony Davis with LeBron there. So nothing super out of the ordinary there.
And then we go Sabonis, who first round talent really, going 15. Maxi, Zubac, and then your pick. Any of those guys leading up to that pick you were looking at?
Well, kind of like you, I was thinking I've already got a big man. I'd like to get some sort of top guard slash small forward, most likely at that point. Since Maxi was gone, I was looking at Maxi as well. I didn't know some people were high on Harden, some people weren't, so I figured maybe he'll drop to 18, most likely not, but if he did, I might have looked at him there. But with the way the board fell, I do like Zubats this year, but 17 is a little high for me, and I didn't really want two centers. So I kind of, how we talked about a couple episodes ago as well, I've always had trouble with not having a small forward that you can rely on.
Yeah,
And there's really not a lot of elite small forwards this year, especially. It seems like every year it just gets more difficult of a position to fill. And even then, I feel like I'm short on small forwards, and I drafted like three or four of them. But
yeah,
just the talent is not quite there. So having that dual eligibility at guard and forward is nice. And I mean, just the volume that I think Jaylen Brown's going to have is kind of hard to match for a good team. Obviously, missing their arguable best player, but I I think it was too hard to not take a number one on probably a playoff team over other guys going around him like Siakam and Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams is going to be a number two, and Siakam was tempting as well, but I think Jalen Brown's just a little bit more proven, and the ceiling is probably higher, even though Siakam might stuff the stat sheet in different ways. I think Jalen Brown's scoring is going to go up this year, probably assists to some degree, and he's always a pretty quality defender as well. So I feel like taking the chance on pretty good volume was not too hard for me at that spot.
no, absolutely. Like I said, I like Jalen Williams. Honestly, if he's not hurt, I might think about him because I think he takes a step, and I think
Yeah.
Shea wants to, say he's going to get into the point where he won the MVP last year.
Hmm.
He's not looking to win MVP every year. It's just, so he's probably looking to take a step back a little bit and kind of coast it through the regular season to get to the playoffs. Now that he's got a ring, got the MVP of the finals, got the he won MVP of the finals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then gets his MVP. So now he's just playing for championships pretty much the rest of his career. I mean, it's great if he wins MVP again, I'm sure, but I see him taking a step back. So Jalen Williams is now the guy who I thought he's going to come out with his hair on fire.
Yeah.
Which he may still, I don't know, but
Yeah,
that wrist
for
injury,
sure.
the wrist injury was a little worrisome for me.
Yeah, I agree, and I factored that in as well. And I think just the fact that the Thunder have quite a few guys they can go to. Obviously
Yeah.
Shea being one, but you've got Chet and you've got some other guys that will score. So they may still run things through Jalen when he comes back. But and I mean, even last night watching Shea, like, what did he have, like 11 through three quarters? And
Yeah,
of
and then he
course they
had
go to double overtime and whatever, and he ends up with 35, 5, and
25.
5. But
Yeah.
like you said, he could just be kind of coast until they need him in the fourth quarter and turn it on and do what he
I mean,
does.
I was really impressed, like obviously by Sengun in this one, but it's so hard to tell from that game in general how these guys are going to perform because you have absolute dogs on both sides defensively.
Yeah.
Like Amin Thompson was all over Shea
Yeah.
for the first three quarters, and then he just kind of, I don't know, Shea just turned into the MVP that he is and
Hmm.
just said like I got to score. So and for Amin goes down with the calf cramps or whatever, never comes back, which I can't understand. You have cramps and you don't come back. Just I don't know. There must be something more there.
Hopefully it's not a blood clot or something like his brother.
I would hope not. Yeah, that'd be horrible. And then they turn to Reed Shepard, and Reed Shepard just he can't defend. And he can't defend anybody, much less Shea.
Yeah.
And he just got cooked. And that's where Shea ends up getting 25 in the last, I guess, overtime, two overtimes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Because the matchups just weren't good for the Rockets.
Yeah. Which could happen. There's a lot of teams that won't be able to guard him, so I do
Right.
still think Shea will be pretty good, but like you said, Jalen Williams may come back ready to go.
No, for sure. I was kind of disappointed that Pascal didn't make it to the third round. I really thought that he might. Not that I think he would have got down to me. I was hopeful, but he didn't. He
Yeah.
goes into the second, which is fine. I mean, I kind of expected that. It was kind of just like a hope and wish kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
I was looking for him as well.
yeah, round three, Vooch and Josh Giddey, which I cannot believe Josh Giddey got taken third round.
Really? You think he should have
I
gone
just,
sooner?
I mean, over Brunson, Adebayo, Curry, Mobley, Durant. You're taking Josh Giddey over those guys?
I was planning to take Giddey, actually. I was really
Really?
upset he got sniped right there, but yeah, I mean,
Really?
if you watch the last year, I think it was 20 or 21 games, and he was almost averaging a 20-point triple double. Like he was
Wow.
just, ticks away from it, which obviously that's probably best case, but even then, for a early third round pick for a guy that's gonna, I mean, he just got paid $100 million. Like they're gonna run everything through him. Obviously, Kobe White's there too, but he's pretty good in his role as a catch and shoot guy and create when Giddey's not having the ball in his hand. So, especially considering I took Brunson, not that I don't like Brunson, but compared to Josh Giddey, I feel like Giddey may score a little less, but the triple double threat is pretty hard to pass up. Plus, I think the usage will go up, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I like Giddey as a player too. I've always kind of gravitated towards him, but
Yeah. I think for me it's I don't these teams that lose a lot and they were not winning last year.
mhm.
When you get to the end of the season and you're playing these teams that are winning, teams start to rest against you because they don't care. They think that they can beat you with guys missing. So I always take the last month or so of the season for these bad teams and players on bad teams with a grain of salt because you're going to start getting to the beginning of the year here and through until the All-Star break, and teams are not taking that off. And I don't know what Josh Giddey particularly looked like at the beginning of the year, but I just know he finished strong, yes, but I always kind of worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which is fair to where he may not be a top third round type player, but I mean I've seen people taking him in the second round in other drafts, and that
That's
might
good for
be a
them.
little bit high, but I think third round kind of splits the difference to some degree. Maybe still optimistic there, but I mean if you look at the guys under him that went, obviously Bam, if you're looking for a big guy, pretty dependable double double type guy, but if you've got Curry, you've got Durant, a couple older guys, Paolo, Amen. I mean, I'd
I
be
mean,
okay rolling dice on Giddey at that point.
I'm no doubt taking Evan Mobley over Giddey
Yeah.
and Vooch. I'm taking Evan Mobley over a lot of these guys. Maybe not Bam. Maybe I like Bam a little more. But even then, I have more faith in Evan Mobley's leap this year because I just think that he needs to do it and Cleveland needs him to do it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, and he's got the potential for it. So
Yeah,
I just believe in him.
I do like Mobley as well. I think he deserves to be a little bit higher. Which I mean, honestly, looking at Doug's first three picks, pretty solid.
I know, yeah. I'm telling you, Doug being in front of me on these picks,
Yeah,
the first round, and then this round, that really sucked because that was
yeah.
what I was going for. I was going to snatch Mobley, um, but back to Brunson. Anybody else? Did you think Steph? Did you think
Um,
Paolo? Did you think anybody?
I mean, since I had center and I had small forward slash shooting guard at that point, I was thinking either go big on a power forward. So Mobley was a consideration. I think since my mind was kind of set on Giddey at that point, I was thinking more guard. Uh, obviously, Brunson I do like, and I think he will produce well. And last year he missed some time with his ankle, but losing Thibodeau, who knows how their rotation is going to work out, but I still think he's going to get 35 minutes a night.
Yeah, he's still their best player.
Yeah, so it's hard to pass up a guy like him where he's going to get you 25 and 7 most nights and maybe a steal or two, and pretty hard to pass up on, at least on the volume aspect of things. Whereas I do like Mobley as well. He was my other consideration there, but with him being, I guess, the second option in Cleveland technically behind Mitchell, and I do like him at that spot as well. So it was really between those two. I'd say everybody else I was okay passing on, but I think
Yeah,
Mobley was the only other guy I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do that.
yeah, for sure. So as we mentioned, Bam Adebayo goes after Brunson, Steph Curry, Mobley, and then my pick comes, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I got a good guard and I got a top end center, and I know for a fact that centers are going to be abundant at the end of this draft. I just think that you're going to get starting centers that are going to be able to give you 10 rebounds and a couple blocks, and maybe they can have the upside of getting you double doubles. So I wasn't really worried as much about center at this point. I was more worried about the guards.
Yeah.
Could I fill that in? And that's why I kind of chose to go Donovan Mitchell. And I almost went with Amin. I just trust Donovan Mitchell's offensive game.
Yeah.
And playmaking and the team around him. I just wasn't sure how Amin Thompson was going to do as a point guard. And even after last night's game, I still don't know how he's going to do as a point guard. I don't think they're going to go back to it.
Yeah.
They kind of ditched it halfway through the game where they're having KD and Sengun bring the ball up the floor, which I couldn't believe. And I know Sengun's great and KD's great, but both of them are not bring the ball up the floor kind of guys. So it's just like I don't know. So I was worried about that to begin with, and I still am now. So I chose to go with Mitchell.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I obviously Amen Thompson's kind of been the talk of the offseason of, oh man, he's going to be easily top 25, maybe top 10 type fantasy guy, which, I mean, best of luck to you because I mean, yeah, like you said, even watching last night, the first half before he's kind of out of the question, but I mean, he had 10 points, a couple assists, a couple rebounds.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't seem like on a team where they have Şengün, they have Durant, that he's going to be the featured guy. So even then, at least in my top 3 picks, I'm looking for proven number ones, probably not terribly old like Steph Curry or LeBron just in case of injury, but, proven guys that are getting the volume that night in, night out, you know what you're getting. And obviously I like the upside too, but I would have much rather taken the upside on somebody like Giddey, who showed last year for a period of time. I mean, obviously amended as well, but not so much triple doubles. He was getting steals, and I think he probably the last 30 or 40 games, he was averaging maybe 15 to 20 points and 7 and 7 or something. But he's not really a triple double guy in my head. So
No, and he's not. But going into this, I also thought his shooting would have to be way better than it was last year. I mean, he shot like in the 20s percentage wise last year
from 3.
From 3.
Yeah.
And again, I hate to do this, but like at this time, I thought, well, I don't really trust his shooting after last night's game.
Yeah.
I really don't trust his shooting. I mean, his
Yeah.
shooting's still flat, just clanking off the rim. It's not even close. So I just don't. I didn't trust it. I didn't
Yeah.
trust it, so I chose to go a different direction. Anybody in this third round that you were impressed by, like as far as good pick or bad pick or anything like that?
Well, I mean, again, just highlighting Doug, I feel like his first three picks pretty solid.
Right.
Not necessarily a couple question marks. Vucevic at 21, not
Would
for
not have
me.
done it.
He should
Yeah.
be in the 30s at least, if not
Yeah.
40s. But that was tough for me to see. Bam, I think 24 is probably fine. Curry, I mean, 25. Do we really think Steph Curry's gonna be a top 25 fantasy point guy?
With 3-point shooting, I mean, his 3-point shooting is so elite, and it
Yeah,
never will drop. It just doesn't seem like it's ever going to drop off.
I mean
That
that's
like
fair, but I don't know. Just
he's gonna,
he doesn't get the assists like he used to. It's really
yeah,
you're basically relying on that 3-pointer to be on, which it is at least half the time. But
right.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think I would have taken him if he'd have fell to me at 27, and I'm looking between him and Donovan Mitchell. I still probably would have taken Mitchell.
Yeah,
I just think that I like Steph. His game is great, and I think he's going to be a 25. And he sneaky gets more rebounds than you would think.
he does. Yeah,
And so that kind of stuff. But as he gets older, he's not going to want to go and battle
yeah,
down there in the paint and stuff. So, and the addition of Jimmy Butler, the addition of Al Horford, and these other guys that want to score the basketball, and then going off last night's games again, they're going to feed Kuminga because they still want to trade him.
yeah,
And they did it. They did it last night. They gave him the ball so much, and they were like, he was almost the focal point of the offense when like Jimmy Butler wasn't on the floor. It was him. He
yeah,
just like would go crazy, and so they're gonna feed him a lot to try to get his numbers up to make teams teams go, oh man, maybe we want this guy, and they're gonna trade him. They're gonna try to trade him.
yeah. I could see that as well. I was surprised that they ended up signing him because I'm like,
Yeah,
he doesn't want to be there. They don't want him there, but they're gonna
yeah,
basically, like you said, try and market him, get him out of there. So, yeah,
yeah. I think it's and it's a good play by them because they can win even with him.
yeah. I mean, he's not a
Uh,
bad player. It's just that he's not really the fit that they're looking for, and they want to get something out of it. So,
Right,
yeah,
right. Moving on to the fourth round. So just to recap, after Donovan Mitchell, it goes Kevin Durant, then Paolo, which I love Paolo. Amin, and then top of the fourth goes Jamal Murray, Scotty Barnes, and then Franz Wagner. And then comes to me, and I certainly reached a little bit here. I believe in him so much. I'm a Mavs fan. I got the shirt on. It's his jersey. 32
Oh,
ready to
nice.
go.
I
Or
didn't
not
even see
jersey,
that.
but shirt. Yeah. I just think that watching him in preseason, he looks smooth, man.
Yeah,
He looks so smooth, and he looks like he's got a couple moves in his bag that he can go to. I'm not here in this spot. I'm not thinking, yeah, he's going to carry my team, and he's going to be an awesome player. But looking at who was on the board between like players that I could get later. Like I don't think Jaren Jackson Jr. I like him. I don't think he'll be healthy all year. John Morant not going to be healthy all year. De'Aaron Fox starting the season not healthy. I don't know what they're doing in the backcourt with the massive amount of guards they have back there. I don't know what they're doing there. Zion, I thought about it. If I was going to reach, I thought about Zion, but again, I can't have a guy who's going to play 30 games. On the roster on my
Right.
team this early. So I was like, I'll take it because I know for a fact that if it gets to Eric, he's taking it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And so I was like, this is my chance. If I'm going to take him,
yeah.
I'm going to do it now. And his versatility was just too much. I needed a small forward position, like we talked about. Small forward's hard to get.
Yeah.
He plays multiple positions, so I can slide him in power forward, small forward kind of deal. ESPN sometimes with the Mavericks, the way the Mavericks are doing what they're doing, with him being like a point guard, almost shooting guard, ESPN will sometimes update their positions and will allow you to put them in guards and stuff. So I'm hoping maybe they do that depending on how Dallas does it, but that'd be nice. Not that I was thinking about that then, but just kind of off the top of my head right now, that'd be really nice to do. So I was okay with the reach here.
Yeah, and then you texted me and got the confirmation, and there it was.
Ah, man.
No, I think it was the appropriate time to take him if you're going to, because I mean, obviously you got that draft spot, so there's nothing much you could do on that. But
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, this is the fourth round now, so we've got our three locked in guys. Now is this is when I'm reaching for upside a little bit, where you've got the positional eligibility, you've got a player that could potentially be the number one option at least to start the season and until Kyrie's back, and it seems like they want to run things through him as much as possible, get him the reps, and looking at the board around him, I mean, especially that you needed a small forward.
Yeah.
To me, it was not necessarily a no-brainer, but just kind of well, yeah, that makes sense, and it's not really much of a reach when his ADP's at 38. So
Yeah.
you're just deciding, hey, this is the pick I got in that round. I'm going to take him at my spot, and if it's 4 spots of value, that's totally fine at that point.
That and I know, and more thing. Like I said, I know that Eric's taking him. I know that he's not going to be on the board after this. If Eric doesn't take him in this round, he's taking him next round, and he has the pick before I do. So
Yeah.
I knew it was the only chance that I had to get him at that spot. And then also I think Anthony Davis is not reliable health wise.
Yeah.
If Anthony Davis goes down for any reason, if it's a long period of time, I mean, the Mavericks are going to they may decide to shut it down if they're really bad, and Cooper Flag is going to be 20-plus point scorer.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to get the ball all the time. I mean, it's going to be the Cooper Flag show. So I was happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, it
potential number one
may
option.
already be that anyways. So we'll
true.
see. We just got to see
Let's
how
find
they
out.
use him. But I mean, truth be told, if he dropped to 38, I probably would have taken him there just because
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I want to root for him. I think he's got the opportunity to have the volume, and like you said, the people going around him. I mean, I do think Zion, obviously, if he stays healthy, and that's a big if. But I mean, he played 70 games 2 years ago or something.
2 years ago.
And when he does that, he's probably a top 25 player. So
For sure. I don't blame Eric for taking him there.
Yeah.
At all. I would have done the same thing. I
yeah,
didn't want to do it there.
for sure.
Where I was.
So I probably would have taken him as well. The only reason I took Jaren there was one, well, Flag's already gone, but then it's between him and Zion, and they both have the injury history. But I feel a little bit more comfortable with Jaren's injury availability, as well as our stocks in this league are pretty OP with the 4 points each, and he is a double potential, and obviously Bane moving to the Magic. There's a lot of volume that's potentially there for him. So
Yeah.
really just depends on if they kind of let him take over and have that extra volume or not.
And if they decide, I don't know if they will or not, but they decide to blow it up this year because they already traded Bane, so they're kind of on the fence, I believe.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get a boatload back for him for Bane. I mean, they got picks and stuff, but
Yeah.
for player wise, they could have got Suggs, or they could have got a lot more if they're going to try to win now. So you can tell they're teetering on the fence of blowing this thing up, and I think Jaw's the one to go.
I would definitely get rid of Ja over Jaren. I'd rather build around Jaren, even though he's not healthy as much. I mean, Ja's just as much of a liability for other reasons. So,
Right. So as we talked about, after Cooper Flag at 34, there goes Bane, Morant, Fox. Which the Morant Fox picks, I understand it. I just am not taking somebody in the top 4 or 5 rounds really. That is injured right now.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them I think are injured right now. They're not going to play for the first couple weeks. Maybe Fox comes back. I don't know, but I know he's not playing opening night.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fall behind already in that. And you're not going to get. And it's not like you're later in the rounds where it's like, oh, I'll get him and then I'll put him on the IR right away and pick up another guy that's equal talent.
Yeah.
You're not going to get equal talent of a DeMar DeRozan.
Correct.
Like, it's just,
I'm in
let's
the
not do
same boat. I need to do a case study some year of just how I've tried that in the past, where I draft somebody that's out and just stash these guys that have the talent, but I don't know if it always pays off, at least this early. Maybe the later rounds for sure, but I'm kind of in the same boat. To me, life's too short to draft injured players. So, I mean, they may get injured after you draft them, but if I know going in, hey, he's going to miss X amount of time, he's already kind of on my not so likely to draft list.
Yeah, I'm just not doing it. Not this early. Like I said, I just can't. I can't feel production of like guys like Zion or DeRozan if DeRozan's good. Like so. Anyway, so after your pick at 38, which is Jaren Jackson Jr., goes Zion and DeMar, leading into round 5, where you snatch a guy I was. Oh man,
I
I
know.
really wanted him so bad.
It's every year. Every year we do this little dance.
I know we dance every year. Um, Goes Lamelo and Jared Allen, which I like. I mean, I always love Jared Allen. Don't get me wrong, but round 5 is a little early
Yeah.
for what I would have done.
Especially when Jalen Johnson's sitting right there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then, but just to look at this fifth round, and you have Lamelo, you have Kobe White, Derek White. I'm taking any of those guys over a hurt Morant and a hurt Fox right now because you're not going to get the production
Yeah.
that these guys will bring you. But anyway,
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the only one I'd maybe, well, I mean, those guys are all pretty reliable, so they're not going to miss time. So as far as total points, yeah, I think you're right on that. Average may be different, but again, availability is pretty key in fantasy. So I would have taken any of these guys. I'm kind of out on LaMelo this year. Not that he's
yeah,
going to be bad by any means, but they're always so terrible as a team that I feel like if he has any reason to sit, he'll sit, especially if he's hurt, which is pretty often.
right.
And just the efficiency is absolutely horrendous. Um, so
Yeah, his efficiency is horrible, and he maybe I would have thought about it if he dropped to me just because
yeah,
of how much he's going to shoot the ball.
for sure.
But even then, I don't know. Efficiency wise, I may have found somebody better.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and they're kind of baking that in with the 41 pick there. I mean, last year he was
Yeah.
second round draft pick, so
Yeah.
he's fallen for sure. But I'm still
Right.
kind of out on him at this point.
Yeah, I like his counterpart more than him. I like
Right.
Miles Bridges better. I mean, morally, maybe not, but
I thought you were gonna say Brandon Miller. I was like, either way, you're
no, I like Brandon Miller too. I mean him too, but I would have drafted Miles Bridges over.
shots fired at Brandon Miller or by Brandon Miller.
Well, oh boy,
Oh boy.
that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough team of a bunch of misfits, I
Yeah.
guess you could say.
Yeah.
So anyway, so like I said, you go Ball and Allen. Now, I can't fault Allen. Like I said, I take him pretty much every year.
Yeah.
Just because I know what I'm going to get, and his blocks are insane. He just gets so many blocks, and it counts for so much in this league. And he's never hurt. He plays all the time.
Very efficient.
So
Yeah.
I liked him, but like I said, I'm not. I mean, over Chet, no way.
Yeah, no, I
No
think it was maybe
way.
a little bit early. He's probably more of a sixth round guy to me, but
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he needed a center there and wanted to grab him, but
Right.
I still would have grabbed Jalen Johnson there if I were him, and so I did that.
Yeah, you did.
Josh Hart dropping to 44. What do you think?
I think that that's okay.
Yeah,
I think that's fine. I think he benefited a lot last year from playing 42 minutes a game,
maybe more.
or something, maybe more than that. And so his stats are a little inflated as far as his points for sure,
Yeah,
and rebounds and steals and stuff. I think he's still going to get steals and blocks. I think rebounds are there.
yeah,
He's still a connector. His assists are probably going to go down a little bit, but his points are going to suffer a lot because I just don't think he's going to score as much just because he's not going to play as many minutes.
yeah. I think
And
40,
even then, I mean, playing the minutes that he did, I think he still didn't average more than 10 points or something like that.
no, maybe like 11 or something, but
Yeah.
I think 44 is a pretty reasonable spot for him. Not too high, not too low. I think he was drafted in the 80s last year, and he finished in the top 40 or close to it, and I don't see his ceiling higher than 40, so I think
Right.
that's an appropriate spot, but I still would probably pass on him at that point.
I would have bet on Chet. I wanted Chet to fall, but
Yeah.
I would have bet on Chet's potential over Josh Hart's potential, I guess you
Yeah.
can call it.
Yeah, and that's fair, especially with Jalen Williams out.
Yeah. Right. So after Jalen Johnson goes Hart, Holmgren. Did you know you were going to take Jalen?
I did if he was there, yeah. I really thought
Yeah.
Eric was going to take him,
Yeah.
but I was very happy that he dropped one spot. So, yeah, that was my plan all along. If not, I guess I probably would have been Chet at that point because I was wanting
yeah.
another power forward. Um, I'm still questionable about Chet's health, but when he plays, he's pretty good. So that would have been probably the other consideration. If not, maybe guard at Derek White or possibly Daniels. But I already had Jaylen Brown, so I think I was really hoping for Jaylen. Plus, I mean, I
Right.
have Jalen, Jaron, Jaden, whatever, fill in the blank. I have them. So
Triple J's.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's like I said, it's Jalen Johnson, Josh Hart, Chet Holmgren, then Kobe White, who I would have liked. I'd have liked Holmgren or White. I was looking at them. Then it gets to me, and I don't really like my options here before my next pick. I was like sitting there, and I'm like, well, oh man, I don't know what I want to do here. And I don't trust Dyson Daniels' offensive abilities. His defense is great, steals are great, but I don't see what the offensive potential is for him, especially in this team with Trey
yeah,
and Jalen Johnson and Ricochet and
Porzingis.
Porzingis, and I just don't see where he scores that much to make it worth it here.
Yeah,
Miles Turner on a new team, I wasn't a fan of that. Usually I do like Miles Turner, but on a new team, I don't see it. And then Derek White. So it was between Derek White and Bridges here for me. I
yeah,
was like, oh man, I like Derek White. I just don't know if he's going to get the opportunities he did last year. His shots were so open last year, and he shot a bunch of them, and I get it, and he's a great player, but
yeah,
his shots were so open because of the two other guys on the floor that I was like, I just don't know what it's going to look like with him being the second option,
hmm
and teams are going to start really focusing on him. So I liked Bridges. I liked his Iron Man ability. I like that. I know he's pretty much going to play 82 games. I know he's going to play 30 to 38 minutes a game.
yeah,
I know that his shooting was horrible in the beginning of last year because he tried to change his shot, but then decided that this was not the time to do it. So
yeah,
he reverted back and started shooting better. So I just liked him here. I think that I was going to go off of ability to play and the ability to know I'm going to get decent production from a guy, and he's going to give me pretty much everything: points, rebounds, steals, blocks. He's going to give me everything. So I was happy with that.
yeah. I agree. I probably would have been between him and White.
Yeah.
It just depends on if White gets a lot of the volume that's left by Tatum or not. But like you said, if his shots aren't as open as they were, maybe he was pretty efficient last year, so maybe that drops a little bit. So not that his value there isn't probably about what it should be, but
Yeah.
if you think Bridges will take a step forward like he was supposed to when he went to the Knicks and kind of struggled with his shot. So
Yeah.
if that turns around a little bit, then he's probably right in that range of where you took him.
Right. Exactly. Um, so then it goes Dyson Daniels, Miles Turner, Derek White, and I thought about Reeves as well there.
Yeah.
I don't know how him and Luca are gonna mix and match because Luca, he's not he's not Kyrie as far as talent goes, but also he's not Kyrie in the ability to play off ball.
hmm
His catch and shoot numbers are not as great as I thought they would be.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know how they would fit. Only half a season to figure that out last year was not enough for me to commit. And then Avdia, who I was looking at, hopefully falling. I
Yeah.
liked Avdia a lot. I liked his playmaking ability. And on a bad team, I think he's going to get a lot of shots. Jalen Green, no, was not even thinking about him at all.
So
And then it came.
I can
what's that?
explain that one. Me and
Yeah.
Doug and Hunter have always had some. Well, I have beef with Jalen Green. I always
Yeah.
have. I never will ever draft him. I think we've talked about this, but
Yes.
Hunter has usually had Jalen Green, if not Doug. And a couple years ago, I had won the fantasy league a couple years, and so Doug especially hates me for that. And Jalen Green just went off that one year where he had a stretch of just like 80 fantasy points a game. It felt like he just cooked me in the playoffs, and that finally ousted me. And then Hunter comes in and beats Doug in the final. But so Jalen Green's always been that guy that I've just kind of grabbed onto and said, nope, never ever. And they always have so much fun with that and send so many trades my way with Jalen Green in them, and I have to decline them. So
I wish I'd have known I would have taken him. No, but that's funny. Yeah, but I don't like his fit.
yeah,
I mean, his fit on Phoenix is fine, but Devin Booker is just going to be that team, and that's As simple as that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not really looking at anybody other than Devin Booker on that team.
Yeah. Plus, I feel like
Um,
his value is so dependent on his scoring that if he's not
oh yeah,
cooking, he's, you know, maybe a waiver option at that point.
he doesn't
But
do anything. He
yeah,
doesn't do anything but score.
yeah, he's just out there to score. So if he's
Right.
not on, he's not worth it. And if he is on, then great. You get a guy that's probably going in the 50s, and that's fair. But
Right. Right. So then it comes to me, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, well, like I said, I liked Bridges. I think his shooting's good. I think his defense is good. I think he produces pretty much all around. But I loved Trey Murphy last year. I loved his. He took over offensively for that team. Um, Averaged 20 plus points.
yeah, man.
Plays great defense. Does everything. I just expected him to take another step this year. So I like the fact that if Zion goes down, he's the number one guy, and they're gonna ride him all the way. And I couldn't pass up sixth round a potential number one person
Yeah.
guy on the team. So that's kind of where I went with that.
Yeah, I thought that was a good pick. I liked Trey Murphy a lot. I had him last year for a good chunk of that. I think I traded him to you
Yeah, I think
at
so.
that point. But he's a pretty special player too. So I like him. He gets steals and blocks as well, which is nice, and he's going to get a lot of run. So I always Trey Murphy the third. Like, come on, man, you already got the third. Pick one or the other.
Yeah, one or the other.
But good old Kenneth Murphy, good pick.
So then we get the Jalen Duren, Miles Bridges, Michael Porter Jr., which I like the Michael Porter Jr. pick. He's in the preseason. He's been shooting the ball like crazy.
Yeah.
So exactly what I expected from him. And he's gonna benefit like Cam Johnson benefited
Yeah.
last year. And who else is shooting the ball? Him and Cam Thomas. Which,
Yeah.
spoiler, I take Cam Thomas later, but I'm pumped about him too because these two guys are the only guys that shoot the ball on the team.
Yeah.
So
But that's my only fear is that they're so bad that halfway through the year they just start not resting them necessarily, but they're just not going to play as hard, and they're going to cycle guys in. But
the other thing about it is Cam Thomas is, which why I take him later as well, is that Cam Thomas is on a contract year,
Yeah.
so he's going to be playing like crazy. He doesn't want to get sacked,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
well,
So
I
anyway,
liked him more than Porter for sure.
yeah, I do too. And I think that Brooklyn, if they come out and they start winning at all, they'll ship him off first.
Yeah.
Porter Jr., he's out of there.
Yeah.
They're sending him away.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Then gets
also,
to you, and
yeah.
What are you thinking here?
Well, I was thinking Doug has a lot of the same players every year, but he had last year. He had Kobe White. He had Jalen Duren. He had Cade. So it's just all these guys he loves. He loves his guys. And he sticks to them.
Gets to the championship game.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing well, so I can't blame him. But here I was thinking, I want another center. I haven't got the center since, I think, Wemby. Obviously, Jalen has some eligibility there, but I like having the double-double guys with the blocks and the efficiency in this league. I think it always helps to have those stable guys. And Pirtle's, I feel like last year he showed it. He got hurt a little bit in the middle of the year, but assuming he's healthy on a bad Raptors team, double-double nightly, probably one block, maybe two here and there. So just kind of a stable, not really going to wow you as far as, he's going to be pretty much 30 or 40 fantasy points, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I think he'll average about 35, which that's kind of what I want in my sixth-round pick there. It was somebody, I mean, I could have gone Embiid or Kessler, who have a little bit, I mean, obviously Embiid has a much higher ceiling, but I've kind of made another pact with myself to never draft Embiid again, so.
That floor is low.
It is really low. I think I spent like half the season trying to trade him away for a bag of chips, and nobody wanted it, which fair play because he wasn't worth it. But
He didn't play.
yeah, but it was either him or Kessler really, and I like Kessler. I don't know with the Jazz that he'll probably be good and maybe outperform Pirtle, but I wanted somebody, like I said, that was just kind of a stable, consistent, night in, night out, double guy.
Pirtle's points are going to be more than Kessler's, and that's kind of where I fell on it if I was going to go there.
Yeah.
Was that Pirtle, I think, is projected to average 15 points a game, where Kessler's like maybe 8. And so it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. His points are just, who knows where he's going to get them.
Right.
I almost, now remembering back, I almost took Embiid here in this round.
Really?
But, yeah. But like I said, I just trusted Trey Murphy's number one potential over. Oh, and Embiid is the number one, but I wasn't going to trust his injury history.
Yeah.
I was gonna see if he'll fall again to the next round, and if he would have been there next round, I would have taken him. But
Yeah.
I was kind of just waiting.
Fair play.
Yeah, but going on to so it's a Jakob Poeltl, Embiid, Kessler. Then we get to round 7, where it's Jimmy Buckets,
Your guy.
Dan, and my guy, man. Which after last night, I wish he'd have been my guy.
I know, yeah.
Daniel Gafford, which I can't understand why he's drafted before Lively, but whatever.
Or in the 60s at all. But
Or in the 60s
sure.
at all. He's hurt right now. Who knows? He doesn't even. I don't even know if I've read if he's going to play tonight.
I don't think so. He's doubtful, so
Is he?
I have him in a dynasty league, and he's been balling in the dynasty league, but that's because I picked him off the waiver wire. So
Right. He's great. I mean, when he plays, he's awesome. He's just he's a double machine with a couple blocks. I mean, he's perfect, but
yeah,
he's not going to get the minutes, and him and Lively, both of them. Which why Lively probably doesn't get taken anywhere in these rounds is because Lively, they're splitting minutes, 24 and 24 or whatever. So
Yeah.
like, they're just not. It's not worth it really.
yeah. Especially when you got Alex Sarr sitting right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, come to you and you take. I think this is your first kind of reach, kind of potential.
Yeah, yeah.
Look.
You can kind of clearly see that I was stable. I mean, obviously upside with Wemby, but everybody else was pretty much consistent, healthy, stable. And then, yeah, definitely, I'd say a reach for Sarr here. I looked at the board for the next 20 picks or so, and it was him or maybe Randall
Yep.
until my next pick. Everybody else that got taken, I was totally fine not touching.
Right.
So I figured Sarr would probably go before 78. So I was like, well, if I don't take him here, I'm probably not going to get him. So let me go for a little bit of upside on a center that struggled with efficiency last year, but assuming his volume's going to go up with Wizards being pretty bad, and they want to see their young guy play. So I think he'll get the opportunity, and he's got to improve a little bit. I mean, he was shooting as a big man, like something in the 40s or 50%.
He's awesome. I mean, his efficiency's good. It's just he's a rookie, so he was learning.
Yeah.
And so, are you saying his overall field goal percentage?
Yeah, his overall field goal percentage last year was bad. But
never mind.
I mean, they did interview
bad.
him in the off season, and they're like, "Hey, what are you looking forward to this year?" Essentially, and he was like, "Well, I'm going to take more shots around the basket because it was not good last year." So, if he does that, which I think he has that game in him to be more near the basket, I think his efficiency will go up, his scoring will go up, probably a little bit across the board.
And I think he benefits from having guys like C.J. McCollum and Middleton, who are vets who know how to get the ball where he wants it, and he's not going to be playing with Jordan Poole and these guys that are they're just not going to get him in the spots that he needs to be in. So I think he benefits from that too.
Yeah. So I mean, 63 might still be a little bit high, but I was willing to take that over. I mean, you can read off the next board, and I just no interest other than one.
Yeah. Yeah, so then we have, after Alex Sarr, we have Zach LaVine, Jordan Poole, which I would have never touched. Tyler Hero, hurt. I don't want him.
Yeah.
I was so happy all three of those got taken.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, by all means, have a blast. And then after my pick, I'll get to my pick in a second, but after my pick goes Kevin Porter Jr. and Kristaps Porzingis, and Darius Garland. Yeah. I was like, this round was almost a horrible round for everybody, but
right. That's my reach.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I end up taking Kawhi, and the reason I take Kawhi is because he looks great in the preseason.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's probably going to take some time off. He's probably not going to play. He might play 60 games, maybe. Even if he's healthy, he's still probably going to sit a lot. But he's the number one guy on the team. I didn't like anybody on the board.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, like I said, I was with it with Randall. I thought maybe Randall, but his efficiency is so bad. And if Anthony Edwards takes a step like he should, and then they have Terrence Shannon Jr. who might take a step, maybe Randall's offensive potential goes down a little bit, and he provides nothing on defense. So
Yeah.
I was in on Kawhi. You get a superstar level player if he plays at 67.
Yeah.
So I was kind of willing to take that reach there.
Yeah. I don't blame you there. Round seven's pretty good, I think, for him to. You're not costing
Yeah.
yourself anything at that point. It's a flyer on a guy that might average 40 plus fantasy points a
Well,
game. So
my thing is that if you look at like, okay, let's look at the small forwards in the next round. I mean, OG, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram.
yeah,
Am I taking any of those? Shaden Sharp. Am I taking any of those guys over Kawhi? No, even with Kawhi's injury history, like I'm okay.
yeah.
I feel good about
Just
it.
a big old barf fest in the next round. God. Oof.
Yeah. So then it comes around, and I know I feel good about my forward guards, and so I take Rudy, which Doug did not approve of in the chat.
Did you know
He
that
sent me a message.
he comments on any Instagram post from Rudy, and he just
Really?
puts like, I can't say it on our family friendly show, but he comments on all of Rudy's stuff and just lets him
He
have
does
it.
not like Rudy Gobert. He does not like Rudy Gobert at all. And I don't like Rudy Gobert that much personally.
Yeah.
Like, as far as, like, I don't think he's... Personally, I would hate to have him on my team.
Yeah,
But I can't deny that he's going to be a double-double with 2 blocks. We talked about it in the preview show.
yeah,
I needed a center. The centers on the board weren't moving me. Even the ones that did move me, I knew I could get later, which I do.
yeah,
And so I was all right with taking a chance with Rudy.
yeah. I mean, there's no other centers on the board there. I mean, I guess you got Okongwu down at 80, but I would have taken Gobert as well over him. So if you needed a center there, I don't think that's a wrong pick.
Nah, I don't think so either. So, and then we go. Oh, I mean, do you see anybody? OG, RJ Barrett, and Brandon Ingram. Are you taking any of those guys with that pick over Rudy?
Absolutely not.
I don't think
All
so either.
just,
So,
I mean, OG maybe over the other three or other two, but
yeah.
I'm not into it.
I will say I know that when I'm looking at my team here, I was lacking point guard, just straight point guards. I know I had Anthony Edwards, I think, is a small forward
Yeah.
shooting guard, and then I knew I had a Mitchell
Yeah.
who does point guard shooting guard, but I did want Pritchard to fall. If Pritchard would have been there, I'd have probably taken him
Yeah.
just because I like his opportunity in Boston this year, but he didn't. So
Yeah.
I went with what I liked.
Sometimes you gotta just follow the board.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So after Rudy, OG Anunoby, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, and then your pick.
Ugh, yeah. Again, probably another reach, but the board it's not looking good. I don't know if you can scroll down to the next round a little bit, but I mean, you've got Shaden Sharp, is who I took at 78. Okongwu, McCollum after him, Andrew Wiggins, Anthony Simons. I mean, none of those guys really intrigued me. And then you follow that up with the 83rd pick at Nemhard, which I'm more excited about. I feel like just taking 2 guys that their volume's going to shoot up with players departing. I mean, Sharp's not an efficient player, but maybe he does a little better this year. He's going to have the volume. I mean, it's Avdia and it's him until Scoot gets back, and even then I'm not sold that they're going to really feed much through Scoot if Sharp's playing well. So he had flashes last year that kind of warranted me reaching on him a little bit, and I do think Nemhard, obviously with McConnell being out for a little while, his value is probably going to be higher in the first month, and then he'll probably stabilize somewhere lower. But just compared to the guys that are there, I already had a lot of centers, so I don't want Mark Williams, Norman Powell right after that, Lauri Markkanen, not super interesting to me. So
No, and then I knew in these next 2 picks, because I know I was lacking guard play in my team. I knew I was going guard.
yeah,
Unless something crazy happened. I didn't know who. Like, if Laurie would have dropped, maybe I take Lauri Markkanen just because, again, I just trust guys that are number ones on their teams.
yeah,
And they're going to get a lot of opportunity. So I take Malik Monk here. I was bummed you took Nimhard, man. I actually, my little one was having a tough time during this draft. So I didn't know that you took Nimhard, and I had him flagged, and I was like, "Let's go! I know who I'm taking next. Don't even worry about it. I'll just put the phone away, and then we'll get back to it." and then I went and searched him and saw he was gone. I was like, oh no. So,
Man, now you're gonna make me feel
so
bad.
yeah. So you should just I'll trade him Monk for Nimhard right about right now. Um, so anyway, so I knew I wanted a guard. I didn't see any guards that were going to move me. Malik Monk, I believe, is going to. I thought that at this time that he was going to start for him, but it doesn't look like he is, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Well,
It
6 man
looks like
last
they're
year, and he did pretty well.
right. He did average. He I think that at the end of the year he was averaging like 22 and 6 assists or something like
Yeah.
that. And so I was happy with that. I know that he can produce when he's there. Um, I just really at this point I was like, oh, he's starting, so great. I like a starter. I like guys who are going to get minutes, and I know he's going to be able to produce. This team is a disaster. Somehow, I keep talking about it. They have 3 25-point scorers, and they still can't win.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on, man. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I take Malik Monk because I need a guard, and I think that he can produce. He produced at the end of last year. I liked it, so I went with that. Over guys like Naz Reid, I didn't know Naz Reid doesn't play power forward in this ESPN fantasy. I thought if he does go power forward center, maybe I'd think about him there. But I already had 2 straight centers, so I just didn't need another center at this point.
Yeah. I like the Monk pick, and especially before they signed Westbrook. Obviously, I don't think Westbrook's going to take a ton of his minutes, but I thought the volume would be a little bit higher with Monk there, so that's why I was trying to snag him from you at some point. But I think that's a pretty reasonable pick there. There's a lot of upside, and he gets his touches with being the 6 man, and probably will continue that this year.
No, I agree. And then so it goes Naz Reid, Asur Thompson, which I like. I like Asur Thompson if he can stay healthy. Aiton, never would have touched him. Eason, which still, I mean, I just 8th or 9th guys on the bench over starters. I can't like Brandon Miller. I can't understand.
Right.
Matherin, I like Matherin. Brandon Miller, and then I come back and I know I'm going to take a guard. And I like Quickly. I watched one of his preseason games. He plays. He's going to start for him.
Oh, yeah.
He has a lot of people that can set up. He can set up.
Mm-hmm.
So Ingram and Scotty Barnes and R.J. Barrett and Pirtle. He has a lot of assist potential. So I liked that. And when he was with New York, he's a score first.
Yeah.
So I know he has that ability as well. So it's just whether or not. I'm okay with either one. If he scores a lot, then great. If he gets a lot of assists, then great. I'm just looking for one of those stats to be consistent.
Yeah, which he definitely has the potential. He's a 25-5-1 guy, like at his peak.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible. Obviously, he was not healthy last year, but coming back this year, he should be fine. And I like that pick at 94. I was looking at him. I was really upset Brandon Miller went at 93 because he was in my queue.
Yeah,
but
I know. I was bummed about that.
yeah, should have just taken him at 83 instead, and maybe you would have taken Nemhard, but that's fine.
I would have taken Nimhard.
I would have.
Yeah.
Looking back, I wish I would have taken Miller over Nemhard.
Yeah. Man, go trade for Brandon Miller real fast.
I've tried.
Oh yeah,
I've
already.
got like 10 offers for Miller. Unfortunately, Hunter knows me too well to trust a lot of my trades anymore. But
yeah. So then we'll kind of go through this draft. So Jaden McDaniels is your next pick. What was the reason behind that?
it was a sadness reason that Miller was gone. I was like, well,
Yeah.
looking at projected scores at that point of just like, well, I think I kind of ran out of time on that pick to some degree. But,
Yeah.
I mean, McDaniels had a good year last year. He was, like you said, he finished at power forward 9.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, hey, if you're getting him in the 10th round, and he does anything comparable to that, pretty solid
Right.
pick. They're projecting him to be a little bit down from last year, which I think is fair. But they lost Nickeil Alexander-Walker, which I think just means more time for McDaniels, or at least the same time, So,
He played a ton.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just gonna take consistent.
so we'll see. Not a super high on him pick, but more of just kind of a stable, decent player at that point over some of these other
Right.
guys.
No, for sure. So round 11 comes. Some guys who are taken off the board, like let's see, Vassell, McConnell, Pippen Jr., which he's hurt, so
Yeah.
that's a bummer for that. But he got hurt after this draft, so that's tough.
Yeah.
And then Hardenstein, and then you come back and take super potential, which I think could really help your team a lot if he ends up hitting.
Yeah.
Cam Whitmore.
I know it's tough to have two Wizards on your team, but I feel like I probably got the best two to try. So
I believe it. Yeah.
if they say, or if he does what they say he's going to do, which is a lot of upside, then that's great. But even then, I feel like a round 11 pick, there was really just not a ton of other people right there that I think you got the other, like Cam Thomas was kind of the other one,
Yeah.
probably the number one on that team but I mean, Whitmore could very well be the number one on Wizards if Sarr is not good for whatever reason. But
Yeah, so yeah, kind of skipping forward. I'm so glad Doug took Paul George. I didn't even want to think about it. I would have had to think about it, but I'm so glad he took him.
oh yeah,
Uh, right before me, I get Cam Thomas after that, which hindsight, maybe I should have looked at the board a little bit harder and taken Buzelis. I really like his potential in Chicago.
yeah,
But Cam Thomas, like I said, he's on a contract year. He shot the ball a ton last year
yeah.
on a contract year, so he's going to do it again. He averaged 25 points a game last year, so I'm high on him being able to do that again. And I'm just gonna he needs to, because he can't sign a waiver again. I don't think. He needs to show that he's got something, and the only thing that he has got is shooting and scoring.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna try to shoot everything. Him and Porter Jr. are just gonna do it all day.
Yeah.
So after that, kind of goes Keegan Murray, Keontae George, Buzelis, which I liked, Kamara, which I like, Klingon, Draymond Green, and then my pick again, which is just because I love him. I took Derek Lively. I know I wanted 3 centers on the roster. Derek Lively is a starter. He's gonna, if Gafford definitely misses time, he's gonna play 30 plus minutes a game.
He's already missing time.
Yeah, exactly. So he's gonna be a 10 to 12 point scorer with 10 rebounds and a couple blocks, and I'm happy with that at round 12.
Yeah.
And nobody really I looked at and I was like, Aaron Gordon's hurt all the time. Castle, I just don't know what the Spurs are doing in that. So one of those guys is going to be a great pick. It's just which one, I don't know. I couldn't figure it out really on my off time. Aldama just doesn't move me.
Yeah.
And then gets to your pick.
Yeah, and I already had Jaren, so I wasn't really looking at Aldama either. But yeah, I got to Ace Bailey at 118, and that's just kind of a hope for the best pick. Maybe Markkanen isn't the number one at some point, and they start trying to feed it through the young guys because the season's off the rails. And I mean, Bailey's going to play 30 minutes a night. I'm pretty confident in, and I honestly didn't watch him enough in college to know what he's capable of, other than just looking at his stats. I watched him a little bit, but to really see what he can do, I think they're really going to have to give him the ball and funnel things through him, which if they do, I think he's probably worth maybe around 9 or 10 pick instead of 12. But
yeah, I think he's too reliant on scoring, and it's hard to. This is why I liked Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
And taking him early, I'm okay with, because Cooper Flagg doesn't rely on scoring to give you fantasy value. He's going to block shots. He's going to get steals. He's going to get rebounds. He's going to get you a few assists. So the scoring, if it happens, is great, but if it doesn't, you're still going to get value from that. Ace Bailey, I don't think he has the motor to give you rebounds and give you, so it's like a lot of points versus. But I don't mind the pick here as far as like.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, over the people that are next, like Sexton and Jerome.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was looking at there.
Really.
Was he's probably, I don't feel like I reached for him at all. It just kind of he was there and kind of fit what I was looking for. But yeah, looking at the rest of the people there, I was like, man, not very inspired. And at this point in the draft, I am looking for upside because I have no problem just dropping these guys and picking up the guy that's producing to start the season at this point. So
yeah, I'm with you. I'm kind of at this point in the draft. You get to round 12 like we are, and I'm looking for playing time, and I'm looking for, opportunity is what I'm looking for, and potential. But like, I'm really looking for people that are gonna get consistent minutes, and I know that they can provide at least one category stat every single game.
Yeah.
Rebounds, blocks, points. One of those assists, one of those stats has to be there every game, and then that's what I'm kind of looking at.
Yeah.
Bummer for Ty Jerome. He gets hurt in their last preseason game.
Yeah, I know.
Bad knee injury. I don't know if it's bad or not, but I know it's a knee injury, so that's not great.
Yeah.
Round 13 goes Igor Dimin. Never would have touched him. We talked about this during the thing. I don't understand. He's 6'9". I get it, but he's slow, and I don't know. Maybe he's something.
Might as well call him Derek Queen because we're not touching him.
I'm not touching him. Oh yeah, Derek Queen didn't even get drafted in this draft.
I bet you're happy about that.
I am. I feel validated. And not that anybody here listens to our podcast,
Yeah.
but
Hey, we get like 4
um,
views.
hey, no, I'm just talking about in our draft. Our none of these guys.
Yeah.
Uh, Bobby Portis, which is good. I guess he's good value for off the bench guy in Milwaukee. And then you, Jaden Ivey, which I love that pick. I mean, too bad he got hurt
I
again,
know,
but
yeah. That was my concern but again, 13th round, you're just taking people like he had a great run last year that before he broke his leg, he was
yeah,
probably
he was
their
great.
second or third best player.
Oh yeah,
So I mean, coming off the bench, 6 man, to me it seemed like a Malik Monk type player, which, obviously isn't going to win your league for you necessarily, but a 13th round pick that could really contribute. That's good stuff. So I'm
yeah,
still hopeful that he'll come back, and sounds like it was a meniscus, right? So he's
yeah.
4 weeks. I think he'll be back, but
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, and it's not a tear or anything. I think it's just a precautionary thing. He's the same leg, maybe, or
yeah,
something.
same
So they're
leg.
just kind of a little worried about it,
Yeah, but
which I don't
if
blame
I
them.
can stash him there for a month and
Yeah,
just see how it goes, I'm not too concerned about it.
and if he shoots 40% from three, I mean, he's going to be essential for their team.
Right.
And they don't have any other playmakers other than Cade, so he can play make a little bit. He's a great value at 13, and even if he's hurt for the first couple weeks, I mean, that's fine. We tried to make a deal for him, but I'm kind of glad it didn't
Yeah,
work out, I
I
guess,
know.
at this
I
point.
was like,
But maybe
man,
later.
maybe I should have just let you have him. But yeah, I mean, I
Um,
like Khalil Ware after that too, but I already had too many
yeah,
centers, and
I did too.
uh, I was fine taking
Khalil
Ivy.
Ware, yeah, DeAndre Hunter, which DeAndre Hunter doesn't move the needle for me, especially in Cleveland. Just not enough ball to go around really
Yeah,
there. Um, After the first four guys, I'm out. Chris Paul, don't want to touch him. I mean, I think he's not even going to get a lot of minutes really. I mean, he's like, this is just his retirement year,
yeah.
so I don't want really in on that one. And then Jalen Suggs, which I was high on. He played great last year. Starting point guard, Orlando Magic, obviously.
Hmm.
I like his steals potential, especially in this draft.
Hmm.
With this league where we get a lot of points for steals and blocks and stuff. So I was happy with that. And then any points that he could provide me, awesome. Assists, he's going to get them because you have Paolo, you have Franz. Those two guys are catch and shoot kind of guys.
And Bane.
Well, Paolo not really, and Bane, yeah, but I think Bane's gonna be more of a point guard than he is anything. But Bane's a great catch and shoot guy, so I think assists and steals are what I'm looking for from Suggs.
Yeah, in 13th round, I think that's a good pick, and
Oh
I'd
yeah,
like
for
Drew
sure.
Holiday right after that, at least for the first month or two while Scoot's out.
Yeah,
But he might be a guy you just ride for 2 months and then drop, and that's fine.
yeah. He's a guy you can switch in and out. I'm fine with that. Reed Shepard looked horrible last night. Glad I didn't touch him there.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it, but glad I didn't.
If only they
He looked
listened to
really
our
bad.
podcast and we're like, who's going to take the minutes? And we're like, they're probably
Right.
going to sign somebody, or maybe just anybody else, but not Reed Shepard.
Not Reed Shepard. Jabari Smith Jr., though, he played well.
Yeah.
He had like 16, 15 shots last night, so that's really good. I mean, as far as with the team they have,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
wish I would have looked at him, but I didn't.
I think he had more shots in the late stages than Kevin Durant, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He hit the shot to bring him within. I don't know, bring him within one. So it's like a big shot at the end of the game, and they trusted him with it. He tried to hit the game winner,
Yeah.
but they missed it, airball. But oh well. Zach Edey, which I think I had too many centers. I had three centers, so
Yeah.
I wasn't really looking at center here. But that's a good pick as far as I think you can stash him and find a value
Yeah,
for him.
for sure. This is
that
where you're
didn't get
looking for
drafted.
those injured guys that are going to put up points.
Yeah, except I'm not looking at Kyrie. I wish he was going to be back before All-Star break. That's just too long for me.
Yeah.
So I get to Bradley Beal, and I'm not like moved by this pick, I don't think, but I like the fact that if Kawhi goes down,
Hmm.
he's the second line to score. I mean, he's the second scorer behind Harden. I don't know who else is on this team can consistently bring points.
You don't think John Collins maybe?
I mean, John Collins just somehow averages like 20 points a game, which is insane. But I don't think Beal's going to be a guy where they're like, oh well, Bradley Beal can carry an offense. He's done it before, so I think they'll put a lot of more trust in, especially a guy like Doc Rivers, who oh wait, no, not Doc Rivers, not Ty Lue,
Probably, yeah.
who I think would lean more towards veteran, guys that have done it before over a guy like Collins. So I just liked it. I like the fact that if need be, he can be a offensive
Yeah,
hub almost, but
he should be.
that would be really bad for the Clippers if that's the case. It's too bad for them.
I
But
mean, 14th round, I feel like he's fine as a flyer to. If
yeah,
you have to drop
I
him,
mean,
you have to drop him at some point. But
guys, I was looking at the board and I'm thinking like Scoot Henderson, nah, I'm okay. His shooting is not good enough. Dante DiVincenzo is only a shooter,
yeah,
so maybe you take him. And I was like, maybe I'll take him and switch him in and out with guys that might get hot or something. I thought about Quentin Grimes, but I think in Philadelphia, I just think that he benefited a lot last year from the fact that nobody was playing. So
yeah,
that's kind of where I was at with that.
for sure.
Oubre and Toppin, just not moved by those guys. So I was happy with Bradley Beal
Yeah.
there.
I mean, I was looking at Irving, even though I didn't want to sit on him for 4 months or 3 months. But
Yeah,
I was like, that'll be my stash, and I'll just throw him on and pick up another guy real quick. But I was fine him getting taken right before that, and I only went Grimes because I figured Embiid's going to be out for a little bit to start the year, and who knows with Paul George as well. So I was like, they're going to need someone to shoot for, and I'll ride him for a month or however long he gives me of, 20 points a game. But
yeah,
until then, I don't like Oubre. Not super in the top end.
yeah,
The next round, not much better. So I was okay with that.
yeah. Next round is 15th round. Last round goes Dennis Schroeder, Isaiah Collier, which I'm okay with that pick as far as like
Yeah,
just taking a chance. He played well last year.
for sure.
Who knows what's happening in Utah, so I'm okay with that. And then Herb Jones
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah, Herb Jones, he seems to end up on my team in the last pick pretty much every year, and then I drop him like a month in. But
Yeah,
he's
right.
if he's healthy, I mean, obviously he had an injury last year, but when he's healthy, I feel like he plays well sometimes. So I was like, you know what, last pick, might as well. I need some eligibility at the forwards, and we'll see what he does.
Yeah, I was. Then after Herb Jones, which I like Herb Jones, and his defense is insane. So he's
Oh,
going to get
yeah.
you steals and blocks, and if he gets you 10 points, that's great.
Yeah.
But I think that's a great pick. And if he's struggling, then like I said, you can find value somewhere, drop him
For
and
sure.
pick up anybody really, and you might get the same. But
Yeah.
Dylan Harper, Kuzma, Ty Jones, which I was kind of bummed Harper went
Yeah.
where he did. I would have probably taken him here just because I trust him in that Spurs offense. Of those guys,
Yeah.
I think that they want to bring him along, and they want to bring him along with Wemby.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they don't play them together, I think that they would have him run the second unit over Castle, and obviously Fox is going to be number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in on that. I was like really pumped about that. I talked myself into it, and then he got taken. So I was like, oh well.
Yeah.
It gets to me, and I just PJ Washington. I just think he brings you rebounding, brings you blocks. His defense was insane in the preseason, and somebody has to score the ball on this team, and it's hard to say who is going to be. I know Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg, but like outside of that, they need contributors.
Yeah.
And PJ, I've watched them average my whole life. I've watched them the last 2.5 years where they've had PJ. They will just run plays for him,
Yep.
and they will. He's a focal part of the offense. So I trusted the fact that he can get you sometimes 20 points. I mean, he can explode sometimes.
Yeah. Honestly, I like PJ a lot as a player, and my only problem with them is that they don't tend to run things for him. Because when they do, he's successful, and I think he's a good contributor. It's just that because they had the other guys, they weren't really looking to him to do those types of things. But when he's had the opportunity to be the guy, I feel like he produces. They just don't always give that to him, even if they're missing guys like Irving or Davis or
And I don't know
Luka.
why they did this last year. Every game started off with a baseline cut, a baseline screen for PJ, who would come around and catch a post and score and try to score.
Yeah.
Every game, Luka, Kyrie, didn't matter who was on the floor with him. That was the play that they opened the game with.
Yeah.
I never really understood why that was the case, why they do that. Maybe just because they know if they can get him going, maybe that helps the offense better. Maybe, I don't know, but so I was happy with that as far as like if they can, and they need more offense this year than they did last year. So.
Yeah. And again, at this point, you're just taking guys you think are going to have some moments to produce for you. And in hindsight, I probably should have taken Harper just to have the upside. But, you just want guys that are aiming for 30 fantasy points off your bench.
I think that Harper is one of those guys that also if it comes out and the Spurs don't play him as much because maybe he struggles as a rookie,
Yeah.
he gets dropped. I'm picking him up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah, I
at
agree.
least pick him up pretty quick. But
He's got that upside for sure.
yeah, exactly. So going in, this is the overall, look at Ben's team real fast. Victor Wembanyama goes first. Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jalen Johnson, Jakob Poeltl. Well, that's a lot of J's.
How many J's do you want? I got 'em all.
Alex Sarr, Jaden Sharp, Andrew Nemard, Jaden McDaniels, Cam Whitmore, Ace Bailey, Jaden Ivey, Quentin Grimes, and Herb Jones. I think it's a pretty well-rounded team, honestly.
Yeah, I think I drafted pretty balanced. Obviously 4 centers in the top 7 rounds wasn't necessarily my strategy, but just kind of played the board as it came. And, they say you're out there to shoot the J, so I took all the J's that I could.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, that's a lot. Man, I didn't never put that together. That is a lot.
A lot of JB,
I just
JB, JJ, JJ, JP.
I just think, I don't know, just having Victor as like just a baseline guy is just what a luxury.
I know. Yeah, I honestly feel like if you don't get Victor or Jokic and maybe Shea, you're kind of at a disadvantage to start, which is like, I mean, we didn't do anything. We just got a random pick, but
for sure.
it's such a big advantage there.
No, that's kind of what I found myself in is I take Anthony Edwards 1, Şengün, Mitchell, Flagg, Mikal Bridges, Trey Murphy III, Kawhi Leonard, Rudy Gobert, Malik Monk, Emmanuel Quickley, Cam Thomas, Derek Lively, Jalen Suggs, Bradley Beal, and then PJ. And I just found myself throughout this draft, like you say, you don't get a top pick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I feel like Anthony Edwards is good compensation at 7, but I find myself going like, I don't have the all-around guy, so I have to try to make up for that with like elite at across the board at least, or you're an elite at one position. So that's where you take reaches like Şengün, where you're like, okay, he can do a little bit of everything, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Cooper Flagg, he does a little bit of everything, so I can make up for this and that. Where Anthony Edwards, as your number 1 star guy, doesn't produce, you can kind of try to make up for. And then I'm happy with, the Kawhi at 67. I'm okay with that. That reach as far as like if he is a superstar, if he plays let's say he plays 70 games this year. I mean, you're looking at he's a second round talent.
Yeah, maybe second or
seventh
third at
round,
worst.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm happy with that. And then everybody pretty much after that is just specialty guys. Rudy Gobert's rebound and blocks.
Yeah.
And then scoring, that kind of stuff. I'm looking for elite at one statistic.
Yeah, I think you drafted pretty balanced after the 8th round, kind of filling out your team there. Obviously you had the 4 small forwards in a row there, but they got dual eligibility, so you'll be fine. But
right. Yeah, I didn't even realize I went small forward. But I'm luckily, like you said, Kawhi Leonard, small forward, power forward. Mikal Bridges is Cooper Flagg is like, I think he has 3.
He might have 3 at some point, and then
he might have 3.
Kawhi has 2, Murphy has 2, and you'll be fine.
I do. Looking at this team, I wish I would have gotten maybe one more point guard instead of Bradley Beal. Maybe I do reach on Harper or something, but
yeah, or maybe I think Bridges was your only one you might have swapped for somebody there, but maybe a point guard there, shooting guard combo.
Right.
But either way, I mean, I think you'll be fine. You're pretty balanced, and that way you have the opportunity to pick up any centers that might pop off to start the year if you need to.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm happy with that. So, but yeah, that kind of wraps up our draft and kind of what we did and our thought processes behind each pick. Next week, I think we're gonna start with our weekly, outlooks and kind of previews and looking at what happened this week in the first week and who impressed us and kind of go from there. We'll do our third segment, which we're kind of excited about, Ballers and Fallers. We're looking forward to that. And we'll kind of go like that. We'll try to get it out weekly.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Our season's already started yesterday, technically, so I'm already looking at a deficit, but not too worried to start the year. Wemby hasn't played yet, so we'll be all right.
Right. Tonight, man,
I know.
against the Mavericks.
Yeah.
Oof. Hopefully he sucks. Then next game he can be
Oh,
okay.
okay.
But this one,
As long as he
he
gets another
needs to be
game,
bad.
then I'll be fine. But
Yeah, yeah.
now looking forward to it.
But yeah. But yeah, kind of moving forward, that's kind of what we're thinking about doing, and we'd love for feedback, comments on anything. If you want to, ask us questions, we'll talk about them on the pod. We're open to anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Look at
Any
all the socials. I think YouTube
yeah,
would probably be the best for comments, but honestly,
yeah,
if you find us on Spotify or Apple or uh, wherever else we are, TikTok, let us
yeah.
know. Let
TikTok
us
a
know
little
what you
bit.
think.
Yeah. All right, everybody, have a good week, and we'll see you next time.
Go Mavs.
Go Mavs.